Shotgun mod that has a bunch of shotgun options? Nice. I feel like after this run, I've been pretty vanilla about the game. Like, I have one mod installed, and that's because I feel like Clever Girl should be base game stuff. Like, Clever Girl's not changing the game in any meaningful way. It just makes it so managing companions isn't a horrible experience. Of 10. So, like, I really feel like Clever Girl is basically just base game goodness that should be in the game already. But, after this last, if we win with this Truekin run, get through and see this last ending, why not mod the game at that point? Some current things that are shit become viable, like bows. Yeah, once we, with bows, you really just have a turbo and a electro bow, and those are your choices. There could definitely be more exciting bow options. Because, like, a normal bow with nicer arrows is fine, but it's really not fine, right? Need to mod in CJ from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Master Chief. This crab is doing a phenomenal job of not being shot enough. Well, you obviously need nude packs. I can only assume there's a mod that introduces, like, a romance element to the game. Dating of Cud. Caves of blind dates. Again, the post-game credits. Post-game setup talks about, like, who your character married and shit. What's going on, Chiller Whale? Seduce the fighter lord. The author of the romance mod is literally posted in your chat before. That's why I'm like, I feel like there's definitely one in there. There's a trading card game mod. I really gotta go in there and take a look at some of these mods. Alright, the next time we turn on Caves of Cut, it's gonna be a real weird game. These streams were a fugue state for it. We can't expect her to remember. How right you are. It's a weird artifact. It's a weird artifact. Just get it. Here it is. We found it. But we have 2 crabs coming my way. Bang, 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 bang. Alright, crab problem solved. Somewhere in Alazad Hall, your Dark II had a dream that she was adorning oneself with jewels. From that day forth, she always kept some jasper stones hidden on her person. Whoa, 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 whoa. You go right on back there. I will take that with me, thank you. And I'll take the miner's helmet with me, too. Start the stream, your innie takes over. That's what makes the stream reboot so awkward. It could feel like that sometimes. Like, streaming really is like a state. Like, you are in a particular state. It's why when people are like, I'm gonna post a link, I'm like, don't even bother. Like, you gotta put it in the Discord. You can post whatever you want right now. There's no way it's going to stick around in my brain. Alright, we got our credit wedge. Honestly, I don't think we need to keep going. Like, that is what we were looking for. We could finish going to Red Rock, but I don't think there's much of a value to us doing that, right? We're not gonna find any more credit wedges. Is that a slug snout? Fuck off. Cut of love. Serpentine. Sucker. Caves of love. But yeah, we'll do some modded cut in the future. I heard a bzzz noise. A flash of neon flickers past from the northeast. Oh, it's a glow moth. You hobble him, and then flurry the man into the ground. And shoot the damn crab. Shouldn't have picked this fight with me, Spider. Reload. Alright, we have a quillipede, a plated nullworm. They're fighting each other. Of course, seeing me, they immediately bury the hatchet and resolve to work together. So glad I'm a unifying force in the world. Can I duck around the corner here? Oh, come on. Alright, duck around the corner. Killed my first Nephilim. Haven't played since before they were added. My ape god killed it, but still. Hey. He worked for you, alright? Your successful management is how this win happened. Yeah, W's a W. Just hide here and heal. You know what? Auto Explorer. Might get some fun secrets out of the garbage. I'm hungry. Crazy how they can face take lasers without ridiculous HP. Yeah, the Nephilim are no joke. The secret, like... The secret final Nephilim is insanity. It took, like, hours for us to figure out how to get past killing that thing. That was a multi-stream affair, that one fight. I still fondly think of it. I want to do a run where we don't kill the Nephilim, we befriend all the Nephilim. That'd be its own challenge. There we go. 5, 3, 3, 3, 3, 33. We're still getting treasure. Might as well keep going. Yeah. It's like I can't kill it, but what if? What happens if you pour more static on him? I don't know. Probably something fun. Shade injector, copper nugget. He hit me from across the map? I don't have accuracy like that, Jesus. How many bullets we have? 85 lead slugs left. Yeah, see, you've taken care of that guy. That's nice. Rifle through trash. Take the water skin. Take the boom rose. Leave the mace behind. Leave the gun. Take the boom rose. Take the cannoli. Man, cannolis are delicious. conserve ammunition. Melee some stuff. Poor spider's running away from me. The pet too crazy to actually keep. It had such cool abilities, though. And then you get the coolest of its abilities afterwards. Have we done a Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead stream? No. But I do want to at some point. I need to do some more with, There we go. Cogmind is something I want to do more of. We've only really turned that on like twice. We were real close to winning one time. So I gotta do some more Cogmind. Remember the TV show Heroes? Yes. Superhero who could learn other people's superheroes? That was Sylar. His name was Sylar. I remember more of that show than I thought, I guess. Wish that was a function in more video games. Kill a bad guy and learn powers. Instantly gain plus 10 range, weapon accuracy. It's the Mega Man system. Defeat enemy, eat their brains, have their power. And Kirby as well. Yeah, Heroes was really, really good season 1. And then it stopped being good. The writer's strike did not help it out. Like, the writer's strike is probably why the quality of that show went from, like, stellar to garbage. Yeah, season 1 was incredible. Sylar was just such a cool villain. Maybe one day I should rewatch season 1. I've never revisited it, I just have my fond memories of it. Alright, we got our credit wedge. Sphere negative weight, baby! Down to 73, like, we gotta get so many more bullets. Tearing through ammunition these days. Yeah, honestly, like, with the writer's strike, they should have just been like, alright, let's just stop. We'll make a spin-off after the writer's strike is over. But no, they just plowed ahead with really ill-thought-out sequels. Disassemble. Save the cheerleaders, save the world. I have a Magica Madoka, like, kind of parody shirt of that, with, it has, forgetting the horrible cat's name, but it has the cat on there saying, make a contract, save the world. Alright, 2 crappy credit wedges. Yeah, Doors of Trithias had a really cool, start when we played that. Like, I'm never in that much of a rush to play early access stuff. Because it's like, oh, I don't want to burn out before it's even out. So I haven't been popping back in there, but like, I'm hoping. Hoping to see more from that one. We'll definitely play more of that, though. That was really good. Yeah, Caves to Cut, I will admit, I had a lot more, but I got really hooked on it. I try not to let that happen as often. You never know, it might just happen anyway. Just steal all the food from town because we didn't have harvestry the last time we were here. Alright, let's see if we can buy some bullets. Chat with the schematics vendor once. Probably hit up the 6-day stilt one more time for book drop-off. No slugs. That's bad. While traveling alone in Burfapier Hall, DOGG II had a dream that she was contemplating the meaning of things, and from then on, she always kept some quills hidden on her person. Mark that in my copybook. It's really a bummer that they didn't have any bullets here. Kind of a bummer. Nav, scaled, electro bow, semi-automatic pistol. How much trade good power do we possess at the moment? $158. I'm carrying a small boulder. Gotta get rid of that. I could probably get the semi-automatic pistol. Wonder how many people go from video games to tabletop RPGs like D&D and are like, oh, are there consequences for stealing everything that isn't pinned down? I went the other way. Well, that's probably not true, now that I think about it. Like, Dungeons & Dragons for me started in middle school. I guess the only RPGs I played prior to Dungeons & Dragons are JRPGs, and those typically aren't much in the way of, like, would you like to steal from the shopkeeper, you know? That was much more of a Western RPG thing. Not saying that as a universal truth, just, like, from the games I could think of off the top of my head. Because I definitely played D&D before I had a PC, and I feel like PC is when I first encountered, like, you want to steal stuff? Like Fallout 1 and 2, or like, that's when I really got the stealing stuff experience going on. Tell me a story. What kind of story? Your first Dungeons & Dragons character, and how did their story end? My first Dungeons & Dragons character was a wild mage. I've played many wild mages, though. Wild mage is still, to this day, my favorite character class. Pretty sure that one was named Cyric, which is just Chris backwards, because I was a cool kid. If I remember, like, we finished that as heroes. Like, we kind of saved the kingdom, went on to have, you know, little postscript things of, like, I started a magic academy, and all that nonsense. Really, the wild mage I have the most fond memories of was one named Tarrant, named after a character from a book, The Cold Fire Cycle, or whatever that series is called. That particular wild mage, I had just the biggest, like... It's like, oh, I'm having a wild surge? That's fine. I'm just trying to cast web while on a boat. And, like, the wild surge was... Alright, we get to open a portal somewhere. It's like, oh, that's potentially scary. Where's the portal gonna go? Oh, just the elemental plane of water, and like a pure water dragon came out of this portal that I opened while trying to cast web on a boat. The boat got ripped in half. It's like, yeah, this is par for the course with the kind of wild surges I have. As someone who is mainly a video gamer who played one or two one-offs, I have a hard time coming up with options that are not murder hobo. Because in games, murder hobo is always the answer. Very rare a game lets you do something else to resolve an issue. That's why Dungeons & Dragons, like the tabletop experience, is so beloved by so many people. Because you don't have to murder hobo. Like, and it might just be like I have a history of playing with people that really like talking, but we have a lot of like, we barely have combat in our current game, as True Axiom can attest. Like, we will spend hours, session after session, like weeks of our time are spent not doing combat. We do science experiments. Like, we learn about a magic thing in the world and we try to figure out, how does it work? How do we take it apart? Can we do it ourselves? Can we steal it? We spent days just messing with a bag of holding and a bird cage that removes earthly desire. So, like, I play often a toolbox wizard, is what I call it. We've played for probably 50 games and had like 10 combat. Yeah, we barely do combat. And sometimes the combat just is over really fast. Like when you had a baby in a tree and I just fired a fireball at the baby in a tree. Because like, I'm not going to take any chances. Blow up the baby. It's clearly a reincarnated bad guy. Just blow him up. Shoot a fireball at that baby. But, I love doing toolbox wizard stuff where like, I could take fireball, and I will always take fireball, but most of my spells are like mist form, enlarge and reduce, knock. Like, what can you mess around with? Rope trick? I just like having tools for problems, and most of those problems are solved by being silly and being creative. It's less about combat for me. Haven't played Dungeons & Dragons, but in World of Warcraft, you'll play in a rogue. Rogue's always a fun time. Dungeons & Dragons is fun because, like, video games will always have the limitation of their engine and their programming. Like, I love Caves of Cud, but, like, unless someone carefully codes it, I'm never going to be strapping on a rocket pack and flying to the moon, right? Like, that's just not going to happen. Dungeons & Dragons, the constraints are really how willing your dungeon master is to humor your stupid ideas. So I love playing with folks that are willing to humor silly stuff. I will definitely explore some ruins. Yeah, tabletop's cool. The limitations are the people you're playing with. How much you could put crafty... out crafty your DM. Even the other players, like, I have a fond memory of, I was playing, only the dungeon master was aware of this, but my character was not a good aligned character like everyone else in the party. Like, I had a lot of fun trying to get some of my teammates killed, but not by killing them, by presenting ideas convincingly that are dangerous. And we had a situation where we had a really deep oasis in the desert, and it looked like at the bottom of it, there was something down there. And so I convinced one of our players, like, yeah, listen, what we could do is we can take some coconuts, right? We can hollow out the coconuts. We can make a breathing system for you. You'll have air with you. You can just take the coconuts down. And, like, they got down there, they just needed to get back up, you know? Yeah, chaotic neutral, leaning toward evil. It wasn't my idea. They approached me beforehand. Be like, hey, do you maybe want to be a force of chaos? And yes, I would. We got a bag of holding, and it's like, I put an entire orphanage in that bag of holding. Just because, like, we might need orphans one day. Blatant 4289 BR, after a bout of depression, Quadat's II's counselors suggested he let a regent rule in his place. Instead, he spent a day imposing one's will, and then continued his reign like nothing had happened. He did king stuff as a king. Group's gonna create so many big bads. Typically I like playing a good aligned character. Good with, like, there's always some amount of chaos in me. I can't help it. But this current playthrough, like, we're all good. We all thought the person we locked in the bag of holding for ages was evil. You know, we came from good intentions when we put them in the bag of holding. But they did come back as a big bad later on. Nowhere else to explore. Wild magic barbarian sounds hilarious. Getting so angry you explode in vines or begin to glow or teleport. And she was! My real life personality is chaotic good. That's pretty much me as well. But yeah, Wild Mage, second edition Wild Mage is always going to be the best. I loved that version of Wild Mage. Every time you cast a spell, there's a chance of a Wild Surge. You roll on the chart to find out what the Wild Surge does. It was just good times. I was playing with someone way back in high school who was, I shouldn't even say was. I'll just say not the most secure person. Like very like insecure in their masculinity. These days they're very like rah, like we don't have real masculinity anymore, everyone's too soft, blah 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 blah. Like a lot of toxic masculine traits, that kind of stuff. And they almost got into a fist fight with me because I had a Wild Surge while casting Featherfall on them. And the chart that I don't roll on, like I'm not doing it. Like the Dungeon Master rolls on it, a number happens, the effect goes off. It's out of my hands. But their very masculine character became a lady. And they were so angry, like again, standing up, screaming at me, saying they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna play anymore. It was a very awkward day. But like burned in here forever. That's like a formative memory now. I want to play around. Wild magic barbarians are a thing in Baldur's Gate 3, but they're bugged out. Just so enraged, reality tears open. God, I love Wild Surges. Right, Jaxie? This is like, I don't understand. Like, I literally just, like, the concepts that were coming at me from this person, like, confusion. Just, like, blanket confusion, because it's a piece of paper? It's imaginary? You're not a woman right now, my friend? Like, a character you are playing? They're not real? Like, how is this so upsetting for you? I just couldn't get it. Like the rest of us, like we would just be like, who are you playing today? Like, oh, I'm playing this lady gnome. Like, you could use your imagination. You know, yeah, like I could not understand it. Didn't understand it. Yeah, like what's bad about it? Like in theory, literally no change. Like your character physically changed, but it doesn't affect your stats. You don't have to roleplay them any differently because your personality's not affected by it. And like trying to explain these things, like it didn't matter. They were just pissed off. Like again, to this day, that's like just burned into my brain as this intense moment where I'm like, I don't understand how someone like that thinks or lives their lives. Here are some books. Please let me level up. Thank you very much. Pleasure doing business with you, sir. Ooh, I have a weird artifact that goes in the face slot. Sounds like they were going through something. The problem is, I don't think they ever stopped going through it. You know? Because again, like, they are still, like, on the internet, like, talking about how men are too soft and, like, you shouldn't let any of this kind of LGBTQ stuff be in schools and blah, 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 rah, rah, rah. It's like, how the fuck did you get into Dungeons and Dragons? It doesn't make any sense. There we go, I'm no longer carrying a 50-pound boulder. That was really weighing me down. Bit of fear happening there, right? It's like, yeah, maybe they were going through something, but like they never stopped going through it. And that's a shame. Replace the cell, remove the cell. Yeah, I've matured past the point of needing my emotional support boulder. He was a good friend, but it's time for him to go on his own journey. I'm with you, itty bitty. I try to, like... I feel like Dungeons & Dragons is really expanded, but, like, back in the day, it definitely did. I feel like at these points, it's better. But any hobby and any fandom has, like, those people in them. Where... I could almost... This I can understand. Like, again, I could understand him with, like, it's an imaginary person. Like, what are you talking about? What I can kind of understand, I don't agree with how they process these emotions, but when someone has a thing that they like, sometimes they like it so much that it stops being a thing and it becomes like a part of them. Like, there are people that are like the angry video game people that are just like, we can't have these things in video game, where they get angry at, like, the new Assassin's Creed, for instance. They get super pissed at it. And it's like, there's an element of this where it's not just a thing for them. It's not a hobby anymore. Like, this is their personality, and so they become weirdly protective of it, and they cannot accept the idea of other people enjoying it differently. So at least I could see the logic train on that. It's stupid, and they need to get over it, but, like, I could understand that. Yeah, it's like, it's a personal attack on them, yeah. But yeah, like Dungeons & Dragons, like, it's a social experience, but you end up with people that it's so formative to, like, how they view themselves, that if they end up playing with people that don't play it the way they do or like or think it should be, they become, like, angry, gatekeeping, like, asocial nightmare people. And that's true for, like, Magic the Gathering, you're gonna run into them, Dungeons & Dragons, and even stuff like Undertale is, like, such a sweet game where its whole premise is, like, you should be thinking about your actions, it shouldn't just be violence as your blanket answer, blah, blah, blah. All that cool stuff, like, there's this, like, horrifyingly toxic element of the fandom of, like, that nice thing. It's weird. It's weird how people be. People be weird. I know someone who hates anything in Dungeons & Dragons that isn't gritty or serious. Anyway, guess who doesn't know about my food-based whimsical adventures set in a wizard's fridge? It's such a waste. Like, Dungeons & Dragons can literally be anything. Anything. You could have it set in any setting, you could do anything with it. Like, I enjoy a nice grim-dark adventure, but I'm much more likely to enjoy myself with other people, especially, if it's whimsical. Like, I love playing things where people are having a good time. Yeah, you're not a real fan unless XYZ. Just dumb. I have a secret for you. Alright, I can get 0 more experience from you. We're at 175. We want to be at 250 before we go to Bethesda Susa, but we have time. But yeah, food-based whimsical adventure sounds great. No true Scotsman fallacy, yep. One of my favorite mini games. It's a role-playing system called Everyone is John, and it's a mini system because, like, you know, Dungeons & Dragons. My rule books are not in this room; they're in another room. But I was gonna, like, pick it off the shelf. But, like, they're thick, you know. They're big books. The rule books for Dungeons & Dragons. Everyone is John is like 2 pages. But the idea is, John has all these personalities living inside of his head, and they're all trying to do something different. And those are the players. And so you're constantly vying for control of John, and it's such a fun game. More people should try that one out. The food creatures have been set upon by the Rot, and the Nectomancer has amassed an army of unbred to take over the whole food pyramid. That's perfect. That is a perfect setting you've made. Let's throw a very low chem cell in there that we don't need. For +6 rep. A drained chem cell for 5. Whoa. I could get 15 more with 3 stun rods. Yeah, sure. I'll do all 3 of those. Inflatable axons we might want. Alright, that gets me an additional 26. We're at 200. So we're only a little ways away. We'll come back later. Finish the job at some point. One more loop around for bullets, because we need bullets. I really want to learn how to make them myself. Make enough puns that my players want to get food allergies. Like, I like fun so much that my favorite system isn't even Dungeons & Dragons. Like, my favorite system is Paranoia. A system that has a way you could play it seriously, but it also has a way that is described basically as Looney Tunes. Like, it's basically Looney Tunes. I absolutely love the Zap format of Paranoia. Play everybody's John on a people's birthday, change the name of the game, basically. That's perfect. Paranoia is fantastic. Absolutely my favorite system. I had the 2nd edition books as a wee lad, but in high school I picked up XP. Paranoia XP is like de facto. Like, that's my version of Paranoia. I think it's the best version of Paranoia. Absolutely adore Paranoia XP. Right? Paranoia is so funny. For those that don't know, and you will find out, I technically am supposed to be running a Paranoia game on stream at some point. I'm just very slow at getting it ready. And I've been also slow about poking people to make their characters. Taking a lot of time. But at some point we will be doing a Paranoia one-shot on stream. But the general premise of Paranoia is it's loosely based on Memoirs Found in a Bathtub, my favorite Stanislaw Lem book. But basically, 1950s-esque America, the Cold War became a hot war. Everyone's underground in bunkers. And they are living in the complex, which is run by Friend Computer. Friend Computer is out of its mind because everyone with high enough clearance, the ultraviolets, the muckety-mucks of society, reprogram it all the time to basically benefit them. They're always trying to change how the system works for their own benefit. And so the computer's kind of unstable. It's insane to a degree. All of the players are playing troubleshooters, who will be given missions to go out and do something for Friend Computer, or more likely, they're really working for an ultraviolet clearance, so like person that runs the show. The real fun of it, though, is every player is secretly a mutant, which is illegal. You're not allowed to be a mutant. That's punishable by death. They also belong to secret societies, which is illegal, punishable by death. So every player secretly has a ability that is like magical almost, like it's a mutation that lets them do something outrageous, but they have to be careful about it. They can't let people see, and they belong to a secret society. Like, there's a lot of secret societies, and they're all very silly. It's stuff like, you know, the Audubon Society, but at this point it's like they worship the concept of the outside world. They have little air fresheners that look like pine trees, and they're like, yes, yes, the pine tree. And you will have a secret mission from your secret society. So, like, everyone's on a mission to do a thing together. But, like, let's say the mission is, I need you to get a box and deliver it. You'll have everyone on that mission, but, like, 2 of them are in a secret society that want to steal the box. Not together, they each want it. Another person's mission is to replace the box with something else. Someone else's mission is to destroy the box. So, like, they all have their secret missions they're trying to carry out. They all have secret mutant powers they're using all the time. And they're trying to catch each other in lies so they can accuse each other of treason, while also trying to work together to fight off, like, the actual world and enemies that are coming at them. It is pure chaos. It's always hilarious. The system the game is built on is, like, you have your abilities. There's lots of them. They're all very niche because that's funny. Where it's like, no, you shouldn't be using X, you should be using Y. But they get even more specific as you go, to the point where each player can have... There's 6 categories, basically. 3 of them are, like, thinky-thinky, and 3 of them are pewy-pewy. You can make a super specific ability for each of those 6 things in the moment, and it has to be hyper-specific for it to succeed. So, like, I've played games where I had a player that's like, listen, I'm gonna make an ability right now, alright? If anyone ever tries to pickpocket me, and I don't notice they're pickpocketing me, there's a Rube Goldberg machine in my pants that I have to set up every morning that will make my pants fall down and reveal a grenade and will take anyone within, like, 10 meters of me out. And they were doing that because they knew everyone was trying to steal what was in their fucking pants. So, like, they had made this hyper-specific thing. And it was great. It was phenomenal. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everyone's afraid of communists, of course. And there's usually at least one person who is secretly a communist, of course. But it's all through the filter of, like, several generations of, like, cave-dwelling people working for an insane computer. So, like, they don't know what communism is, which is basically like talking to someone on the internet these days. Also, I forgot to mention, and this is crucial, the troubleshooters have a 6-pack of clones. So, like, the players are dying all the time. Like, the whole, like, blow myself up with a grenade and take anyone out around me thing, like, if that killed the party, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of sad. No, that's fine. They're coming back with their clone backups, and it's against the rules to, like, blame anyone for your death after the fact, because that's a different person. You have their memories up to, like, right before you died. This is called Paranoia. Specifically, Paranoia XP is the version I played the most. It is my favorite role-playing system. Anyway, that was a long-form tangent. I need to buy bullets. We know we have one other gun salesman, right? Sounds wild. Yeah, it's very fun. A board game apparently came out. I think it was Zabatsu said they were going to check it out. Zabatsu, you ever play that board game? Got value for telling me a story points. Yeah, you tricked me almost. It's like I barely talked about the actual, like, request. I just spun off into a Dungeons & Dragons and related games tangent. Alright, I have 41 drams. Once again, I would like to have a few extra drams here, so let's throw a couple of things their way. Yeah, Paranoia, the uncooperative board game. I know it came out very recently. I am unfamiliar with, like, how it is to play, if it's good or not. I know the newer edition of the actual, like, tabletop role-playing game introduced a lot of board game stuff. To the point where it sounded like, it's almost more of a board game than a role-playing game. I wasn't too with it. But, like, just making a board game, like, that's fine. I want to know, like, I want to know if it's any fun. Would love to try it out. We'll just poke ye old Discord and see what the updates are over there. We're just waiting for Super Hobbit for Repo. Close I've come to a game with the Fallout was the Fallout tabletop role-playing system. Made a character was just amazed at everything, but really they were just super lucky, to the fury of anyone who was actually knowledgeable about a subject. Yeah, I know how to hack. Copies the motion of TV hackers. That's very similar. To the point where Paranoia has a system in it called the tick system, where when character creation's happening, players are supposed to give their characters role-playing ticks. Equine stole a portion of pickled mushrooms from a party. And that kind of, like, informs how you role-play your character. So, like, a character could have, like, a phobia, they can be, like, gloriously ignorant to how security clearance works, which is dangerous. The most elaborate one I ever had was Andrew. Andrew made 2 character sheets. And he made it so his character had split personality, and if their character was stressed, they would switch. So they built a character around combat and another character around avoiding combat entirely. And anytime like a stressful situation happens, they would have to switch their character sheets. So if they were in a good combat space, but like something stressful happened, they would end up being useless in combat and vice versa. It was very funny. Very amazing stuff. Thank you for that follow Morandil. How are you? Do you like Case of Cud? Like role-playing games? What's going on? How are you? Having a good time today. Just gonna rob these things and run away, because Dawn Gliders are not something I want to play with right now. God. Lost immediately. Doo-doo. I'm pretty sure we could take these guys in a fight. No one has a gun except for... Well, he has a gun. I also had a really fun one where, a quantum experiment was the MacGuffin. It was in a box that the team was supposed to steal, but unbeknownst to them, in the box was the world they were in. And things got really trippy when people started, messing with the box. No one has a yeah, shot immediately. Listen. What was the name of our character? The Magnificent Six-Finger Kid is not the most attentive man. That's some superliminal. It got really trippy. What's good? Cuddlings in chat. How you doing, Wonder? Yes. Like, they started doing experiments with, like, temperature and shaking and stuff to realize, like, wait a minute. What's going on in here? And, like, toward the end, someone opened it and, like, put their head in the box. And, like, their giant head was, like, crashing through the ceiling of Complex. But that wasn't my favorite. My favorite session, not even session, it was a long-form, game. I did a long-form campaign of Paranoia that took place in a complex that was in Florida. Which doesn't make any sense. Florida would be underwater at that point, but they were sent outside to find the wealth and riches of a magical place they heard of. A magic land of some kind. The most magical place on Earth they had heard rumors of. And so I had this campaign that took place in a post-apocalyptic version of Disneyland. Walt Disney's reanimated head on a giant animatronic Mickey body was one of the big bosses they had to fight. They spent a lot of time in Epcot, because each of those sections was its own, like, you know, they're all countries, but they were countries now. There is a joke I could never repeat, because at the time it was funny, but these days... I did a bad accent for a robot from Japan. They keep bringing it up, the people that played with me. They're like, remember Japan bot? I'm like, I would really rather not. That was a different time in my life. We gotta stop bringing up that robot. But they keep bringing it up. But it was a great game. A grape game. It was delicious. Grape flavored and delicious. They wouldn't let me get rid of that robot either. Like, I kept on trying to write it out after the first, like, it was a throwaway gag. It was supposed to be like a one and done. And like one person secretly had robot empathy. Which, like, is super illegal. Like, the most forbidden ability in the game. And so, like, they became good friends with Japanbot, and they would keep it in the party. I couldn't get rid of the fucking thing. I tried to kill it, I tried to make it leave, and every time I tried to have it leave the scene, the dude would just be like, where you going, best friend? And, like, use his mutant ability. And so the robot would stick around! Like, I talked to Japanbot It's like, that's not what Japanbot sounds like. Like, you're monsters. You're all monsters. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. But that was some good times, that whole campaign. Dithermo beam. You are a pistol, right? I really want a new pistol soon. A few books, some nice things. We gotta get some oil. I would love to, like, be able to chat with these people. Drams of honey in there. Like, it'd be really nice to oil ritual this dude. Wait a minute. Now, hold on now, hold on. Alright, we got robot friend marked on the map. Dawns on me, we could just go buy some oil real fast. Fuck that. No. Oh, so lucky when they don't chase you off the screen. Alright, we do have some Ichor merchants here. Kippers. Where the heck are they? I know they're here somewhere. Make camp. I swear my bird's always where I want to put a camp. Really? I don't often talk with them, but let's go give it a go. I just hijacked a mecha that was hanging out the still. You lucky bastard! Yeah, there's an oil skin. 190, a little pricey. I'm not sure we could afford that. Did it have everything you needed? Like, you had the security clearance, it had a battery and everything already in there? If so, you're so lucky. How long you dweebs been cutting for? We're on hour 5 of cutting right now. We were supposed to be doing, Sundays are typically Caves of Cut bingo, where it's me, Krath, Alias, and Super Hobbit. And we are competing to, like, beat each other at Caves of Cut bingo, like, completing things on a bingo board. But, it got cancelled because Super Hobbit was super delayed. And eventually, Super Hobbit will come back, and the 4 of us will do a little, repo. Because repo's really fun. I think I will just give the Electro Bow away here for the... Battery was dead, needed repairs, you needed a card? Yeah. Getting the pieces you need together to make that happen is the hard part. Can I do this with a couple of things that I'd rather get rid of than the Electro Bow? Ooh, maybe. Maybe. Alright. Oh yeah, 217? I could drop another 20-ish off this. That works. You have work in 2 hours? Oh, no. He did say we could start without him. I mean, if you and Alias want to, like, start now so we can get some in, I'm good. I'm at 32. You've been playing 3,200 hours for, like, just today? Today alone? I thought you meant today's session of Caves of Cud. I have definitely played more than 5 hours of Caves of Cud. If you wouldn't mind giving a poke... Game with the funny robots? Yeah. Give a poke at Alias and see if he's good to go. I'll beeline it to where I need to go, and I'll start switching over. I'm sorry, Krath, I didn't know you had work. I would have been pushing for earlier. And you just switch games? That's perfect. Sounds like everything's coming together. Miner's helmet gives me AV instead of DV. Let's put that on. Don't need the floating glow sphere, so I'm glad I got rid of it. Do we have any better boots? I've been trading boots and I wasn't wearing boots? My god, I'm an idiot. Bronze dagger. Slender bronze dagger? What are we currently using? Lacquered. We'll put slender on there. Gets between ribs easier. Alright, we got our oil skin. Where's robot friend? I marked him. Robot friend, there he is. Sure. Cyan Happa? If those are slug snouts, I'm leaving. Two-headed, alright, that's fine. Auto-explore real quick. I just want my little army of robots, because I might be able to get them to join me. Doodle-doodle-doo-doo. Take all. You're not gonna check that chest? I love how when you do auto-explorer, like, they just inherently know if something's empty. What, again? Brown rod. Nope. What? This is the ruins district here. Uh-oh. See, that's a little scary. He hasn't burrowed a channel into my mind yet. Game launched? Alright, I'm on my way. Like, I know he's still left of me. Damn it. Got him, alright. Got you too. Come on, amoebas. I need to get in the repo. Oh my god! Oh my god! Alright. I'm glad I'm here. Less glad about that. I gotta get Shake It Off. Can't with this confusion. Oh, baby. Alright. We're gonna switch over to Repo. We know we have Robot Friend down and right, but I got two Becoming Nooks. I can see books here. This is a pretty sweet spot. I want to pick up here when we turn this back on. So, we're gonna save here.